Whether you are an Ever After High fan or a Monster High fan, you most likely know the pink thing that is CA Cupid. Cupid is a character that stands out in both series. She is the first character in these worlds inspired by ancient Greek mythology with the god of love. In addition to this, Cupid is the only Hasbro character that is included in both the worlds of Monster High and Ever After High. She is also the only Hasbro character to have separate doll sets for each of these series. Many fans, including myself, who are obsessed with Pink, loved her designs in both Monster High and Ever After High. They felt adorable without the hyper-femininity being too overbearing. Aside from her adorable designs, people loved how bubbly she was in Monster High and in Ever After High. But at the cancellation of Ever After High, a lot of Cupid fans were left dissatisfied with her character development. So let's look over Cupid's character today and how it transitioned from Monster High to Ever After High. It is actually revealed in this series that as a baby, Cupid was actually adopted. She was adopted by Eros. She was left on the doorstep of his house, and he took her in. Because of this, we never actually get to see or find out who Cupid's true family is or where she comes from. This, when she originally shows up in Monster High, adds a layer of mystery to her character. Regardless of her past, Cupid takes on the role of being the next goddess of love with pride, but she adapts to doing this in her own way, through producing her own radio show. We see Cupid a couple of times in the series struggle with her bow and arrow strategies, so it's evident that her radio show is her main outlet to her love matchmaking practices, but either way, she does try for both of them. Seen in both Monster High and Ever After High, it is clear that she is passionate about her production of her radio show, where she gives out love advice to her fellow classmates. Not much of Cupid is seen in Monster High in comparison to Ever After High. Cupid only stayed in the Monster High franchise for a total of 2 years. She first appeared in the doll line originally in 2011 in the Sweet 1600 series and was added into the Monster High series in 2012. While her role was pretty minimal in Monster High, many fans loved her. Her vintage and spooky style with her bubbly yet sassy personality made many people fans of her character. But in 2013 is when Cupid's character switched from the Monster High world into the Ever After High world. In the series, it is explained that the reason Cupid moves to Ever After High is because the students of Ever After High needed her help more, which is so hilarious but true because in comparison to Monster High, there really wasn't that much relationship drama going on at Ever After High. But alas, this is why she joins, according to the series. I think this move honestly was the best one for Cupid's character. It is not revealed how the writer's room came to this decision, but I would say that Cupid's personality and character better fit into Ever After High's standard because the concept of her character isn't as spooky as her classmates in Monster High, and her story is more romantic and fairy tale-like in comparison. But some fans were not as big of a fan of this transition as we got to see more of Cupid's character, and they started to realize that Cupid's character wasn't exactly consistent with what we had seen in Monster High. Her main critique being that her Monster High personality with her sassiness absolutely disappeared when coming into Ever After High. Fans were also disappointed that Cupid's mysteriousness kind of died off in Ever After High as well. Now, two arguments could be made of why they did this. Either the creators didn't want to overshadow Darling Charming or the Cheshire Cat's daughter personality, or they wanted to just completely wipe the slate of Cupid's character and focus on the romantic side of her, giving her a whole new slate for Monster High. I know that Ever After High is kind of on a more lighter note than Monster High, but still, I was so sad that they dropped these two personality traits that were so vital to her character in Monster High, and then just pretended like they never happened and they were never a part of her character in Ever After High. But the main complaint about her character in her transition from Monster High to Ever After High is how whenever she was on screen, she was almost only talking about Dexter Charming.
Hey, Cupid!
Oh, Dexter!
Her main character plot point while being in Ever After High was facing the moral dilemma of being in love with someone she was supposed to match someone else with. I think that this plot point was interesting for her character, but I do agree and wish that we had seen more of her aside from this main development, because after a while, many fans felt tired of this. I was split in two when I watched Ever After High because I loved Raven and Cupid, but Raven seriously started to annoy me and many other viewers because of the love triangle they forced her into with Cupid's development. This love triangle being between Dexter, Raven, and Cupid, with Cupid liking Dexter and her giving Dexter advice to how to help Raven out because Dexter likes Raven. And during the True Hearts Day dance is what really grinded my gears. I found this love triangle so cruel because usually for fictional love triangles, everyone picks a side, either Edward or Jacob or whatever. But for this one, everybody in this love triangle is great. All of them are amazing. So it's so frustrating because in this situation, I'm rooting for both sides. There's no side that I want more than the other. And I feel like a lot of audiences felt this as well. But the conclusion to this love triangle was also kind of messy in how they wrapped it up. So to recap, in the True Hearts Day dance, basically Raven finds out that Dexter likes her and is like, oh my gosh, wow, that's so crazy, I like Dexter too. Let me look over and let me get my man. And then she looks over and she finds that Cupid and Dexter are talking, and it looks kind of romantic, but they're not really doing anything. But immediately my girl gives up and she's like, oh darn, better luck next year. Immediately she gives up, and it's so frustrating because Cupid has been pining after Dexter for so long for nothing, for absolutely nothing. So that's why many fans were not a fan of this arc for how long it dragged out and how completed itself. This love triangle goes literally nowhere, leaving an unsatisfying finish to Cupid's character. Originally seen as mysterious and sassy girl, to being head over heels and bubbly, left many fans disappointed, and ultimately we never find out who Cupid's parents truly are. I would have loved if this aspect of her story was brought up in Ever After High. In a world that is so focused on tradition, I wonder if the characters would have argued whether or not Cupid deserved this role because of the fact that she is not bound by blood, and she's not technically the daughter of Eros. Cupid's feature of being able to world hop between Monster High and Ever After High is what makes her character so interesting. And I wish they had included her in the crossover book where they included Monster High and Ever After High. Even in the storyboards they have online, she's nowhere in them, which makes no sense because she's been between both worlds and is friends with both friend groups. Why did they not let her in? Overall, Cupid was such a fun character to watch in both series, and if Maddie wasn't a character, she would definitely be number one in my heart.
If the squirrel eats acorns but never a steak, how much water fills up the lake?
But let me know what y'all think. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!